CT side. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Mess with Launders tonight. It'll be a main game followed by a pro doubleheader. Both those games with Just Does Pro. But this one, it's Pink against Focus North. And I think both of these guys are kind of, what, middle of the pack as far as their records are concerned right now in Maine?
Yeah, you know, we've got Focus North on a bit of a losing streak, losing their last 5 games. Not against the worst teams, but it's a little bit harder than it was when Focus North started last season in Open, I believe, and jumped straight to Maine. But a very promising team, in my opinion. We've scrimmaged against them. We've seen some of their matches. They were actually at the front of a cheating accusation on Reddit a few months ago, where one of the teams they scrimmaged against actually put their match up and said these guys are definitely cheating, and posted the whole demo, and it was all in slow motion, made it look like they were cheating, but they actually weren't. They just wrecked them. So a good team.
That's got to be good for your egos. Here comes the execute onto ramp. They're going to smoke off lower. Acetung is forced behind the box, but he's able to pick up LeBroy James before Squeeze Me gets the trade out there, as it looks like Beduyan has actually moved back to the hell position. They're going to move down to lower with the bomb. Hopefully going to try to get a plant off here, but it is all even 4-on-4. We've got Watson, who's already rotated to that control position. He picks up Eskew with a mid-air headshot, tries to get Squeeze Me, but cannot do so. DUI is actually hanging out in Toxic. He's going to deny the plant. No, he doesn't. KOV is able to get the plant off as Rain gets the trade out. So now it's a 2-on-2 scenario with Dosser Dog and Beduyan trying to get that defused to win this round. It's already a good start for Focus North to get the plant as Dosser Dog connects with that headshot. One more for the terrorist to hold off that defuse, but it will not happen, as it looks like Beduyan will get the defuse easily.
Yeah, pretty standard round. I'd say well played by both teams. Obviously, Pink winning that means that they're going to have the advantage going into the next round, and it was a team ace from them, so good on them for all trading out. And that's why it looked very standard. Everyone was hitting their shots at least, you know, 1 for 1, and so that was what made the difference. And the 2v2 retake, it should favor the T's, but ultimately they ended up winning their trades without losing anyone, so they bring it down to a 1v1. Very good round by Pink, and Focus North caught the bomb down, so I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up buying next.
Yeah, and we'll see off the back of that win, Pink going with some SMGs. They got an ump, I believe an MP7 there is watching from Beduyan, who's going to smoke off the ramp position. Is one's going to come storming through that fire. That's Askew. He's going to pay for it with his life. His DUI is in good position to drop 2 as well, and it was just a quick eco-round massacre. Really no prosperity there for the terrorists trying to go out upper. Yeah,
that round was a little bit sloppy, I think, because this Chu actually bought armor. So he's going to be on a really light buy. He might have forced buy under the assumption that his team was going to force buy, but because they got that bomb down, I think it was smart for the rest of them to save. And now he's stuck with a deagle, ended up running through that fire on the second round. So a little bit of miscommunication, I think. They wanted to make it into a rush, but incendiaries can really turn that plan around more so than smokes. And I feel like they weren't on the same page in terms of what they were going to do in that situation.
Yeah, are we going? Are we not going? Well,
yeah.
Askew didn't get the memo there, as he went storming through it and died pretty quickly as a result. So here in the third round, Focus North going with the buy off the back of that first round plant. We see a couple of upgrades for Pink, Acetung and DUI going with their M4s. Rain out in the yard now, looking like he might want to wrap towards Mini as he spots Dosser Dog in the heaven position outside. But here we got Beduyan on the flank, in good position from Secret to do some damage, as he does drop LeBroy James as Watson from the garage area gets a second from distance with that from FAMAS. That's pretty nicely done there, but finally loses his life to Askew. It doesn't seem like Focus North could really decide exactly where they want to go here. Playing for picks, but they've only got one, as Watson got a 2 for 1. Askew actually picks up another frag with his deagle on outside. It's now back to a 3-on-3. It's looking like the terrorists are going to try to make a play into the upper site. And Askew is actually shooting at his teammates for some reason. That's not very good communication, but they will get control of the upper bomb site. Acetung and Dosser Dog are going to look to retake. We've got Dosser Dog in the heaven position, and he's going to be flashed. Meanwhile, Acetung is coming from Mini. So they've got a nice split attempt. Askew is wounded. He gets dropped by Acetung, and there's Dosser Dog getting one as well. KOV the last one there, but he gets both with just 5 HP. That's a 3K. Nice hold by him.
Yeah, they got a little bit peaky there. Was Focus North ended up coming down to a 1-on-1, and Covey clutched it. So that was a great round by him. Won a very important round that they needed to. And Eschew, surprisingly, not needing a rifle to get a couple more kills than the rest of his teammates there. So actually, 2 for him, 2 for Cove. Both of them doing their jobs for sure.
Yeah, nice job by the terrorists there to kind of make something out of nothing. As it's now 2-1, and as a result, Pink on the save. Focus North pretty much fell on by. A little short on the nades on 3 of their players. And this rush has got them retreating quickly. Cove actually does a little bit of damage to his retreating teammate. It's a rush through ramp as Dog actually picks up the skew, and he's going to get himself a free gun for it. Barely took any damage in that engagement. So it's now a 4-on-4 scenario as Rain is able to pick up Acetone. And it's looking like they're going to go for a boost on the outside. Look at that shot by Rain on Paduyan. Squeeze Me looking to get boosted up into the heaven position, but he needs a teammate there. Perhaps he didn't realize you need 2 to actually get up top there. But he's able to get 1 as he drops down into the heaven position after giving up his position. Dog and DUI, they get dropped as Watson is the only CT left alive with the bomb planted upper. And he doesn't have much to save, so it's just going to be an attempt to get a kill and maybe a free gun out of this.
Yeah, they did what they could. It's really common, obviously, for CTs to abuse the option of pushing ramp and lobby on those eco rounds because that's a really easy way to close the distance between you and the rifle. And once you do that, CZ is almost as good as any rifle that you can pick up. So they try to press that advantage, and Focus North had the right response by, instead of staying in there and just getting possibly mowed down, they decided to wrap outside and split upper, which I think was the really pretty much the best decision they could have made. So good decision making from Focus North. And I think we lost you.
Mute button's a little sticky there. There we go. But I was going to say, Launders, I think someone might want to check our title in the Twitch stream. Just make sure it is correct. This is Pink versus Focus North. It's a CEVO-Main matchup. Kind of a prelude to our Just Us Pro doubleheader, which will be coming up immediately after this matchup. But here in a best of 1 on Nuke, we've got it all tied up as Focus North has picked up 2 rounds in a row, and we'll have another official gun round. But that shot by Watson brings it to a 5-on-4 scenario in favor of the counter-terrorists. But we've got 2 of the terrorists that have already crossed on the back of the smokes into the secret. We're going to have to see what they decide to do as the remaining teammates are moving out into upper. That's a skew. He cannot bring down DUI. We'll see where Squeeze Me's at. He is actually still in lobby, making sure that the CTs do not want to push through there. Meanwhile, Kov has come back out of secret with the bomb. It looks like he wants to wrap into heaven, and unfortunately, he drops the bomb out in the yard. So now the CTs have the advantage as there's only 2 terrorists left on the board. And Squeeze Me looking to play the peeking game from HUD area. Takes a little bit of damage as LeBroy James is still down, lurking at secret. And with 20 seconds remaining, it's looking like they're just going to try to save their guns here to live to fight another day, as they might be able to force a buy if they do save these guns.
They actually don't know that. I think they aren't sure if the bomb was spotted or not. But regardless, to walk out in the yard to face that opera would be really difficult, and so I don't think they want to risk the fact that people might have already rotated to watch the bomb. And so saving the situation, I think, does make a lot of sense. You don't need much equipment value to win around on terrorist side, and so saving a lot of time is the best option. Now, whether or not they'll buy behind these saves is a good question, but yeah, we've got 2 players, Rain and Covey, with enough money to buy, so they'll go ahead and do that. Eschew, maybe we'll get a deagle again. CZ this time, probably get 3 kills instead of 2.
Indeed, it looks like you said, off of that save, opting to go with the force buy. The shoot decides to go with the utility nades rather than opting for a gun. Watson has an op in his hands this time. So this is an important round. Both teams' economy kind of relies on winning this round, as either will likely have to save if they do lose. It'll be interesting to see how Focus North approaches this one as they come storming out upper. As Shu finds himself a victim, but unfortunately he's not going to get himself a gun off of it because the enemy wasn't Raptors. Beduyan is going to try to rotate out of heaven and loses his head in the process to LeBroy James. Covey is trying to pick up somebody through the smoke, but just keeping him honest. He's going to re-smoke it. This is a nice play as they have 4 live in the bomb plant. It's up to Acid Tongue and Watson, and it's looking like they're just going to back off and save their guns. As like I said, Pink probably will have to save off the back of this loss.
Yeah, so with the thought that they took upper so easily that round, and that there is still an op alive, I don't think they want to let him save, but at the same time, they don't really have much time to go find him. So they're going to check the spawn, but they won't find Watson, so the op is still alive. They should know that they haven't killed it yet. And
oh no!
He squeezed me, checking his PMs, gets caught off guard. And yeah, so now that this op is still on the table, and they are just going to buy up behind it. So it's going to be a force here. I think that we might see a Falmus out, yeah, and ultimately really light on nades. I wouldn't be surprised if Fokus North try to exploit upper again. I think that's what I might try to do in this situation, and I might also assume that they're saving, but obviously you want to feel out the team to make sure that that's true. But going outside is going to be one of the bigger risks, considering you know the op is still here.
Yeah, this time the op on KOV, I'm not sure. It looked like they were going to perhaps go with the boost. And now they just can't decide what they want to do here. As the op's now going to move back into the lobby area. They've got smokes outer. It's going to be enough for LeBroy James to make a clean cross. Doesn't take any damage in the process. So he has made it down into the secret, I believe, with his teammate. Yes, that's a Rain. So the 2 of them down in the secret area with the remaining teammates still staged up in lobby. Squeeze me, just waiting for DUI to expose himself, but he wisely... Oh, now he's looking like he wants to peek again. Here he comes! The patience pays off as the first frag goes to Squeeze Me. It's down a pushing DUI in the HUD area. And their teammates are still down in secret. They've actually come back up secret as soon as I say that. And Watson from the garage is able to drop Rain with his CZ. LeBroy James getting the trade out. So it's now a 4-on-3 scenario, and it's looking like they're going to make a upper execute. Beduyan is in great position above the squeeze door. Dropping down a little too soon there. LeBroy James making him pay for it as he comes wrapping through the mini-smoke. Dawson, oh, knifed from behind by KOV. Are you kidding me? Last man alive for the counter-terrorist is Acid Tongue. He's in heaven, down to 13 HP. Bomb is now planted for Mini, and he is in a precarious position here. He's lucky he backed off, as that nade would have taken him down immediately. Does look like he's intending to go for this and doesn't want to save. He's up against an op and an AK, and it's the AK that gets the job done. There you go, tying it up.
Yeah, so obviously pushing lobby was unfruitful. It might have been ill-advised for Dewey to do that in that situation. I'm not sure if that was a risk worth taking. Obviously, you know, once in a while a calculated HUD push can make sense, but in that situation probably didn't. So that ended up costing them, you know, the security that they had at upper, and with the 2 remaining players alive, that might have been a little bit of a closer situation if we had a full team left and, you know, 2 or 3 players left upper.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that actually gave Fokus North the lead, saying that it tied it up there. It was a nice knife kill by Covey. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, he was like sitting outside Squeaky vent, and then he was gonna rotate, I think, into Mini, so he pulled out his knife, and then someone came right up the vent and he just stabbed him.
And we're seeing Fokus North do a lot of team damage. I think it's the 3rd time I've seen them shoot each other.
Blood brothers.
Yeah. The Shoe takes Squeeze Me down to 57. He's like, no, we got to win by attrition, buddy. This is like a test for you, friend.
Lend me your strength.
Indeed. And why are we watching Beduyan stare at a light? Come on now. For some reason, Auto Director wants to watch him staring at a light down there in Toxic. I don't understand it.
So the way that the Focus are playing this round makes a lot of sense. You know, it's probably clear at this point that they are saving players, and you know, after having forced that round, it's almost for sure that they don't have enough money to do anything with it. Taking ramp is a really good thing for them to do. And going lower where they can really clear angles from distances means that they're going to minimize the amount of risk that they have to take versus CZ. So they've got a lot of control right now, and the only thing that they have to clear is Toxic. I don't know if they have, and they don't.
Beduyan, who was staring at a light down there, finally gets some action. He's going to get 2, can't get the 3rd.
They have to get the bomb down right now.
They are out of time. The bomb will not get planted, and they will lose the round as you see the counter-terrorist retreating. The terrorist just looking to chase them down. Outside, there's an engagement as Skew is able to bring down Dewey. But they're losing the round, and that's unfortunate there.
Yeah, they lost that round to themselves. I mean, they had a guy get in vents unharmed. They got down ramp unharmed. They had someone in control already. They had the entire site, and they put the bomb down without clearing toxic. Textbook mistake now.
Yeah, so I guess that patience by Paduyan downstairs in Toxic pays off. I mean, he literally was staring at a light for probably the first minute of the game, and then gets a two-piece when they finally do come down there. So nicely done.
Auto director knows all.
Yeah, indeed. That's why he's like, look, I'm telling you, you want to watch this guy. He may be staring at a fluorescent light right now, but eventually magic will happen.
Yeah. And it's a mistake people make not clearing toxic, but literally everybody makes that mistake. We see that mistake at majors, and unfortunately it happens even when they had... You know, the more time that you spend clearing angles and not seeing anyone means that you should get more and more scared as opposed to less and less scared. So...
Yeah, that's a good point, because literally with all that time, they could be anywhere.
Yeah.
And on the outside, Covey gets the long-distance op shot onto Watson, back near CT spawn. It's the first frag of the round, and it's all tied up. This important round is that second frag comes from Mishu, threading the needle onto Acetong at ramp. So they kind of have the option of either side of the map, and it's looking like they're going to come through mini towards upper. Dog spots some feet. He puts down one, can't get the second. They're going to come storming out of hut, and they win it off the back of fragging. Lose 3 in the process, so it'll be 5-4.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't the best site to take, but they won it because they were able to have not a crossfire, but a split take, having outside control and going inside of mini. But ultimately, we had two players in two players in Raptors. One was late, but then another player by opposite vent, and they had the opportunity to win that round, but Fokus North just able to hit their shots and clean it up regardless.
Yeah, so now we do have Pink on the save. Fokus North looking to make it 6-4, and that would be a great start to T-side nuke already. And if you're Pink, you got to start being a little bit worried here, as assuming you do lose this round, you need to be perfect from there on out to be kind of comfortable with your CT side performance. We'll see how this one shakes out. First frag going on to Dog. And Paduyan in the get-right position. I'm sure you remember this one, Launders. Oh, there's the headshot. Can't get the second. LeBroy James says, I saw get-right do that too. I know to check that spot. So already a decent save round as they've dropped 2 guns from Fokus North, but now it's all Acetong. He's found himself an AK, and they're going to plant lower. He likely will just save this for the next round.
Yeah, and they don't want to let him either. I think it's clear that he has gotten a gun. He doesn't have armor. He's probably not going to go for this, and they should wait a few more seconds to see if he's going to try something yellow, and then maybe go look for him, because ultimately they know the money's low. They want to keep it that way, and having someone save an AK is actually a pretty big deal. But it's a big map. It's hard to find people. This is one of the more common places where someone can be, but with time running out, they're going to have to really rush to get there. So. And Squeeze Me is going to go look for him. I mean, there's only so many places he can be, but he's safe at this point.
Yeah, Acetong played that pretty well. And looked like Squeeze Me did guess right where he ultimately was, but couldn't get there quick enough. So yeah, it'll be 6-4 in favor of Fokus North now, and does look like we're seeing a double save from Pink.
Yeah, I think that they want to have an op, but after this round, they're not going to want to save consecutive rounds anymore, because the score is going to go so much against them that they're, you know, right now the best half they can have is 9-6, which isn't that bad, but giving up this round means that it's going to be an 8-7 half at best, and that's already kind of bad. I mean, T rounds get easier to win every day, it seems like, but you don't want to put yourself in a position where you have to win a lot of T rounds to win the game.
Yeah, it's a great point. As Fokus North is feeling pretty confident now. Looking to take control of outer as they get the initial frag onto Watson. Look at Paduyan, close left. Are they going to check that corner? He gets one. Then the trade out comes from Covey. As now we see Dog push up to the bottom of Secret Stairs, hoping to catch one coming down there. But it looks like they may hang out in the yard. Actually, there goes Rain. He's going to see 2 down there as Dog and DUI clean it up and bring it to a 3-on-2 scenario. It's a nice looking save by Pink here. Squeeze Me, the last one alive with his AK. He's in hell. Suspects there might be one above him. Looking to get an angle by backing off into CT spawn. Can't quite see the top of Acid Tongue's head. Going to pull out his flashbang and move over towards the garage. And unfortunately, that flashbang gave his position away. And Acid Tongue makes him pay for it. So nice save round by Pink to bring it within 1.
Yeah, they salvaged a really important round there because, as I said, now they have the opportunity to win with a 9-6 half. And the only person right now without money is Rain. But they've won rounds where they had one player with a pistol, so I wouldn't be surprised if they try it again. And they actually get to drop him, so that's even better. So now they have a full buyout for both teams. Pink needed that round. Imagine how stacked Focus North would be in terms of economy if they had won that round and Pink had lost it, even though it was an eco, which should totally mess your money up.
Yeah, it's a huge round for this half. Let's see if they can close it out off the back of that win, as they really do need to be perfect from here on out to be comfortable going into that second half. And this is another good opportunity for Pink, as Focus North is a little light in the nade department, and they're kind of using some of those up now. They'll need to see if they actually can turn these into frags or a site control, as they do come storming out into A site. There's another knife kill. Gets DUI. Watson is actually going to wrap. Tries to wrap through lobby, but pays for it with his life, as it's now brought down to Baduyan. He's got his op, and he's going to run away and save his Focus North again. That A rush has been pretty successful for them against Pink.
Yeah, Pink are really not able to trade out like more than one player, I think, and that's where they're falling short on these straight up A executes. And so Focus North can continue to exploit that. I feel like it's not a big hurt. I mean, if you can't stop someone just straight up shooting when you have a better position on them in a site, then why not do it again the next round? Especially since A site is probably the harder place to take at the beginning of a round than any other place. But now Paduyan has a op that he's saving, which is important, and only one player survives on Focus North. So that does force some rebuys, but ultimately Focus North won a round. And I think that's the third round they've won a full A execute, where they walked in blind and Pink weren't able to get more than 2 frags of player, or 1 frag of player, I should say. And that's where they're falling off. And I know there's got to be someone in the communications going, how are you guys getting knifed in upper? Because that should never happen.
Yeah, that's the second time this has happened. And the first one was kind of, he was lurking after a long opening portion of the round. And this time I think he was blind, staring at the corner, and got stabbed in the back. I mean, like you said, that really shouldn't happen.
Yeah, he came out of hut blind, and Dewey had used all his bullets. Then they were standing right in front of each other, and the man who pulled out his knife first won.
It looks like Baduyan was trying to get a op shot from the garage position. He's going to get smoked off and rotate. Try his second chances here, as the 3 terrorists are trying to make their way outer. And that flash is going to allow them to cross 1 into secret. And now he is smoked off once again, and he's going to have to rotate. So they've actually taken the bomb down secret this time. Let's see what they decide to do with it. Kobe is actually going to back up secret stairs, so maybe he can decide to wrap outer into mini. And it's looking like he's just going to be watching their flank, actually.
Now Watson versus Rain here in vents. Someone's going to peek. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Rain wins the day there. They're going to look to lower, but unfortunately Dewey, quick on the rotate, gets a frag into vents. LeBron James picks up one from the control area as the lower side is smoked, and Kobe's going to get the bomb planted. There's another for LeBron James, but he gets caught trying to reload in control, loses his life. It's a 2-on-1 scenario against Dosser Dog. He is down to 1 HP. Ishu and Kobe are both pretty wounded, as well as that touchdown nade connects. Comes storming out of the doorway and loses his life. Close round, but Focus North winning it.
Yeah, pretty close round. I'd say the positional advantage sometimes is not going the way of the team that's on CT. So even though I feel like Pink have better spots some of the time, they gave up lower, and then the guy in vent got a little bit antsy, decided to peek, and he peeked late, late enough that you could be set up anywhere lower. And so I think it might have been in his best interest to just kind of sit in vent and hold it, as opposed to look for someone who will most likely be there waiting for you.
And now we have Pink on the save once again. So despite that stellar save round when they needed it most. They could not turn it into gun round wins, as this half is slowly slipping away from them. The rush outside not too prosperous, as they're only able to get one. Acid Tongue is the LMS again. It seems like he's been the LMS quite a lot for Pink so far this half. And he's just going to wait for them to close in on him and hopefully steal a gun. And as the bomb is planted, forced out of his hiding spot, Rain closing it out. It's now 9-5 in favor of Focus North.
And so I don't know if it's going to be that beneficial to have an op outside, as we saw the op outside not do that much work, letting the players go down to secret, I think, without getting a frag. And so it might not be a huge disadvantage to play with rifles. I think one round where these they won it because they had really good positions on the players that they were waiting for to come down lower. They had one on the close right wall, and then they had one on the left. So it's really hard to deal with that crossfire, and Rain couldn't get one, and they ended up getting 2 kills there and won that eco pretty convincingly. So I think if they decided to play more like that, I think more passive, ultimately, they'd have a better shot at winning.
Yeah, that's a good point. As we see a little bit of aggression there. Does not pay off. Squeeze Me loses his life in the radio area to 2 somewhat pushing CTs. And here's an engagement outside with Watson. No ops on the field to play this time for either team. And I'm surprised that Focus North hasn't gone back to that A rush. Seems like it's been pretty successful for them in the gun rounds, but they're just playing for picks. And now they get the man advantage, and unfortunately, LeBroy James is forced to shoot through his teammate to get that kill. Follows it up with a headshot on Paduyan into heaven. Acid Tongue the LMS again. You keep saying that as LeBroy James 3K really turned the tide in this round.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen a couple of shaky rounds here early in this half from both teams, and the team that pulled away or started to learn from their mistakes more quickly was Focus North. And they also had the opportunity to take advantage of the upper site, which gave them a big advantage considering Pink had to play their defense differently, whereas Focus North pretty much had the option to go upper whenever they wanted. And that means that a 5-10 half for Focus North means they're feeling great. Pink are in a really bad spot. They need to win the pistol round, and to pull out the rest of this half on T side, they need to be a lot more organized. But at the same time, they were good at being aggressive. Or actually, they failed being aggressive on CT. Maybe they'll do a little bit better at looking for opening picks on T side.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And like you said, this pistol round will be extremely telling. I mean, nuke and pistol rounds, they're pretty synonymous. The fact that they gave up 10 terrorist rounds in the previous half pretty much makes this a necessity for them. So we'll see what happens as they have readied up. It's the second half. You're watching CEVO TV. I mess with Launders doing a triple header tonight. This is a main game between Pink and Focus North. Pink's back's against the wall here, starting the second half. Need to pick up this pistol round to give themselves a glimmer of hope. It's looking like they're going to make a play towards outer as the smoke from Paduyan will likely smoke off the garage. Here comes a second one. And it's looking like they will cross and opt to go lower. But the information is out there as Kobe drops the bomb with that headshot from way downtown, and they'll be forced to slow down. And I think that's the number 3 man who has to go pick up the bomb, Dewey. He is able to do so. Meanwhile, his teammates have moved into vents, but they can't decide on which site they do want to take. They're going to opt for upper. That's actually a good guess, as there was one lurking outside of the lower vents. They've got control of the upper site. They have not had the bomb planted as Kobe gets a second. That headshot onto Acid Tongue. LeBroy James on the flank through lobby. Brings it to a 2-on-2, but the bomb has now been planted. LeBroy with the full health. He's the one that's going to push into the site. Gets himself a second frag, and that's going to clean it up. Focus North going to get to the fuse as looks like Kobe just decided to knife LeBroy James.
So I thought that in that situation, Pink had the really good play of going upper because it seemed like they were 100% going lower. We had 2 players on ramp Focus North in response to that push, and ultimately no players went lower. They ended up taking upper pretty quickly, and yet they still lost. I feel like the aim right now, the aim game, I have to give it to Focus North. They're winning those duels, and Pink are struggling a little bit more in that department. So that might be a big reason why they aren't able to win rounds. But the decision making on that round, I feel like, was on point. Going upper, they got in, right?
Oh yeah, they got in, and just that initial frag, I think, from Kobe in heaven,
yeah,
just really turned that tide. Because, like you said, they're not winning their engagements, particularly when they've got the numbers advantage. You know?
Yeah.
maybe not the positional advantage in that situation, but they had numbers, and those numbers quickly dwindled as the frags came out from Focus North. So we're seeing Pink in desperation mode now, unable to win the pistol round when they needed it most. And LeBroy James going all in with that AUG. Here in the second round, he already gets a kill with it on the Paduyan. It's looking like Pink might decide for an upper push, as they're all kind of staged in that position. Comes Dewey slowly kind of come out the window of hut, but gets taken out from the floor by Squeeze Me. KOV gets a deagle onto Watson. So now Acid Tongue and Dosser Dog, the only ones alive. Acid Tongue has the bomb. Just kind of shooting through that broken squeaky door. His teammate Dosser Dog gets himself a headshot in the hut, but just as he does that, the bomb is dropped in Squeaky. So only one frag for the terrorists in that round on the save. And we'll go into the third round with no plants this half for Pink. It's looking dire for them.
Yeah, two very good important points. They weren't able to drop guns to hurt the economy of Focus North, which is crucial at this point because you don't want to have to win rounds, rifle round after rifle round, right? You want to win a rifle round and then be given a free eco round where you can just win it really easily and also keep your money really high by saving guns. But without doing damage to the economy of the other team on eco rounds, you're lessening that advantage. So that's unfortunate for them. And Pink weren't able to win that round either. So that means 5-12. They're on a bye right now. They get the opening pick. That's a start.
Yeah, that's a good start. Pretty much in desperation mode, like we said. Forcing the bye, and they are all outer, I believe. Well, except for one stage in the lobby. That's the number 4-man Dosser Dog. But they've smoked off Mini. Not a full smoke of the cross, so they can't cross successfully. Because there's one actually in that held position. And look at Rain. He is at the bottom of Secret Stairs, but he gets one. Paduyan on the trade out. It's now a 3-on-3. As the remaining 3 terrorists are at the bottom of Secret Stairs. They're going to actually reverse their field and go back up Secret Stairs to outer. I think this is a smart play again by Pink. Let's see if it pays off. Unfortunately, flanked already by Askew, and he drops the bomb in front of Garage. So now it's up to Watson and Paduyan to try to make something happen with about 30 seconds left on the clock. Watson is in upper. It gives his position away with that little hop there as Squeeze Me is in a good position to take him out if he decides to peek here. Oh, he just didn't want to actually expose himself as Watson was able to get outside. He's going to have to
15 seconds.
Go back in. Squeeze Me is there to stop things. He gets traded out as LeBroy James is too far away. Oh, can he contest this plant? He can! Oh. But no, off the back of the fragging Paduyan, getting it there on LeBroy James, and actually I don't think LeBroy needed to peek there.
Did he just ace? Or I know sometimes you aren't able to see a proper kill count in GoTV, but sub 5.
I'm not sure.
You know how sometimes you switch people and then it adds them up.
Right.
Yeah, that might have happened, but yeah, ultimately LeBroy just had to wait. He was sure that he was going to be challenged when he tried to plant the bomb. Now, if he planted the bomb and stuck it, he would have been able to get the bomb down. And since he got off the bomb, that meant that he was forced to engage. And because he was forced to engage, he was counting on LeBroy James to actually peek him. And LeBroy James did, so he outplayed them there. And all really LeBroy James had to do was not peek because he faked the plant and would have not have time to replant it.
Yeah, kind of that tough split-second decision-making. I mean, he had to contest the plant, like you said, but as soon as he aborted the plant, he could have just run and won the round. Unfortunately, he chose to engage and lost it.
Yeah, the safer decision would have obviously been to see if he was going to fake the plant, right? Because then, if he is going to fake the plant, then he loses the round. And if he doesn't fake the plant, then you can engage him in a 1v1, but at least you don't lose the round for no reason.
And in that round, we see another glimmer of hope as Pink wins it basically on the backs of fragging. No really even attempt at a bomb plant there. So they're starting to get things going as they've done a nice dent to Focus North's economy. They are able to buy this round, but if they lose this one, they will be on the save. And Pink could be, I don't know, maybe on the comeback? There's still a long road ahead of them, but they're not completely out of it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they really haven't proven themselves to me, in my opinion, because the rounds are still so very close. Ultimately, to come back from this much of a deficit you not only have to win rounds, you have to win them convincingly. You have to do damage to the economy of Focus North so that they can't keep rebuying, and you also have to win rounds on the harder side. So you have to have a much stronger team in general in order to come back, considering their circumstances. Now, I haven't seen that from Pink yet, but they are able to pull out rounds. Maybe that's going to give them the confidence to just play an all-around cleaner game.
Yeah, it really will take a huge change in play just on the gun battle front for Pink to pull this one out. As Ashu is in good position in hut. Take out a pushing Paduyan. So it's now a 5-on-4 with that opening frag going to Pink this time. As it's now brought down to a 4-on-2 as they come storming out into upper, and Ashu with the spray down drops the remaining 2 terrorists to get Focus North back on the board. And I think we had ourselves a sub there. Mr. Patrick, thank you so much for subbing.
Oh, Mr. Patrick. What's going on? Yeah. The difference there between Pink's upper take and what I was saying about, having just a better overall team for T-side is that Focus North were able to take upper and pretty much trade out like 2 for 2. Whereas Pink just didn't have that fire when they're coming into upper. They came into upper kind of 1 at a time or 2 at a time, and then got picked off and didn't take advantage of the teammates of everyone being flash, even though they were implementing sky flashes into their strategy. That didn't really work. So I'm still not convinced, obviously, that Pink have what it takes to perform the executions that they need to do to win rounds on T side, which is just harder.
Yeah, absolutely. So the best 2 rounds, maybe just kind of an anomaly for them to pick up those wins off of the fragging. And now Focus North 3 rounds away from sewing up the victory here. Another slow execution as Pink has already lost 2 of their players. They're going to try to rush lower as they are able to get the bomb planted. So that's a consolation prize for this round. But at this point, they need to be winning rounds and not trying to build up an economy to win the next one.
Yeah. Now, the only difference is that with this bomb plant, they're going to be able to up, and that could be considered an advantage depending on whether they want to implement one on or not. Now, we don't have Focus North opping. We have them auging. And I think LeBroy James is playing ramp, so outside might be susceptible to some op play if they feel confident about it. And yeah, they are going to go for that. So I think it might be the change that they need, since they weren't able to win straight up executions or just play picks usually, because even on the rounds that they won, it was just so close to say that is a sustainable model for winning rounds. When they're when it comes down to a 1v1, you can't say we can win that round 10 times out of 10. So.
Right, it needs to be won more convincingly if they're going to stage a serious comeback.
Yeah. So they want to try the same thing again.
And here we go. Kobe picking up, looks like Paduyan, who was on top of Twinkie. He is smoked off and has to rotate to watch that cross. And it's looking like Pink really likes favoring outer, but they're kind of indecisive once they get out there. I mean, even when they've gotten a successful cross over to Secret, they've kind of bided their time there, and they don't really commit to either going Secret or wrapping back up to outer. They just kind of use it as a staging area and then don't really know what to do. It's like, all right, guys, let's get outside and take Secret, and then what do we do from there? The frag comes out from Squeeze Me onto Dosser Dog. Rain is in position to contest them at the bottom of Secret Stairs. Again, stalled at that position. It's a 3-on-5 scenario. As Dewey gets taken out by Covey, it's up to Acid, Tongue, and Watson.
Yeah. And so this is kind of how Focus North were playing the T half, except they were winning more trades than they were losing, and that was setting the pace for them to win more rounds than they were losing. Now, Pink are trying to use the same method, but it's not working, and I feel like that indecision, as you mentioned, is really important. Like, the fact that they're able to go outside to outer, outside to lower, means that, they might win more rounds if they have 5 players in the situation that they are right now, trying to plant lower. If they had 5 players doing that, they might be able to do more than trying to play picks versus a team who they're generally not winning picks against.
Right, even, like we said, even when they've had the man advantage. So it is now 15-7 in favor of Focus North. 1 round away from the victory, and Pink, of course, forced to buy to prevent that from happening. They've got 3 Galils and a couple of luxury pistols with a decent set of nades, and they do all have head armor. And they're going to go outside once again and Squeeze Me. Shoots his teammate in the back of the head. Dosser Dog was able to make him pay for it. So they drop 2 on the outside defense. And it's looking like they're going to wrap to hell this time. They send Paduyan down secret. There's 3 CTs still on the field of play. We've got LeBroy James, Eschew, and Rain. LeBroy James is still in ramp. Eschew is in upper. Rain is in heaven. As LeBroy James picks up Watson, Eschew drops Paduyan. Evening things up there as Dosser Dog
Oh, man.
was shooting towards his teammate as Eschew picks himself up 2 more. That's a 3K on the round. 1 away from the victory. It's all up to Dewey. Can he make some magic happen? He gets 1 with the Galil, but they now know where he is positioned. Picks up the second onto LeBroy James. Brings it to a one-on-one scenario. Pink trying to live to fight another day here. But the bomb is down in the center of the site, so Rain is in great position to win this round for his team and subsequently the match if he plays it right.
Yeah, I think he knows what he's going to do. Oh. So in a similar situation here where the time is ticking, forcing a plant could be the good option, but...
Oh, wow,
play.
that fake. Nicely done, Dewey getting the 1-on-3 clutch for the victory for Pink to live to fight another day.
That was a good play. Just waiting right there, spotting through Silo. Almost certainly going to get damage off before your opponent. So that was a really good position by him, and a nice 1v3. Picked it up for his team, who almost lost a 3v5 there in like a matter of seconds. So obviously the peeking is what lost Fokus North the round. 1v3s do happen. Dewey capitalized, so good on him for doing that.
Yeah, very nicely done. And really the only way Pink has kind of won is off the backs of strong shooting performances by some of their individual players. Paduyan getting the opening frag on Eschew into the Raptors on upper. The trade out from Squeeze Me, then he gets traded out by Dosser Dog, and it's looking like they will get the bomb planted. I think it's planted for Mini.
That was like a much nicer upper take.
Yeah, much cleaner, getting their trade outs quickly, taking control of the site and getting the bomb planted as LeBroy James gets 2 on the rotate with his auto sniper, bringing it to a 2-on-2 scenario. It's all up to Dewey once again, now in a 1-on-1 with Covey, who has an op. He can be forced to go for it. Dewey playing ring around the rosy and pulls it out once again. Pink still fighting.
Yeah, it seems like in these situations where there's like 3 or 4 players left, both teams are making like serious mistakes in clutch situations or just simple don't peek situations, and that's what's giving up kills. And we see capitalization on for both teams. And now Dewey is there to be the guy who's not going to peek and win the round. So it's good that he does that, and you know, that's ultimately why they won it. Now they took upper really cleanly, and it came down to a 1v1. I think it's really easy to learn from that and say, okay, we could do that again because we've gotten the site. And the only reason that we gave up kills is because we went to look for people. So we could probably do that same upper take again. Ooh, but the man of the hour gets put down to 10 HP, so...
Yeah, just when Eschew said Dewey too strong, he's brought down to 10 HP. The guy that's been making the magic happen for Pink the past 2 rounds. On death's door, here to start round 25. Fokus North on the save, but we've seen them make some magic happen on the save before, so Pink does not want to just make it a foregone conclusion that, hey, we can win this round. They got to play it smart. It's looking like they're going to head back towards their bread and butter, which has been outer, and doing it slowly this time, Wanders. What do you think they're going to do here?
I think that they... I mean, if they go outer to lower, I'd be happy to just take it, or they can pretend they're rushing lower, pull people out of heaven, and then maybe go back up to mini. But they got to make that decision quickly. 35 seconds to go, and at this point, they probably got to commit. Now, running into the site, getting the bomb down, and then the planter getting shot is a situation that I see happening. Unless they smoke that up and watch the vents really carefully. But, oh, LeBroy, I didn't even know he was there.
Yeah, he was in perfect position to take out Dewey, who was wounded. So they will get the bomb planted lower, I think so. On the edge of the smoke, Covey comes storming out of the vents and loses his life in the process. With the bomb planted lower, they brought it down to the final CT, which is Rain, who's actually in Toxic. Didn't even have time to react there, so Pink bringing it within 5.
Yeah, which is nice. I mean, that was a save round, but it's still not that much of a feat to win an eco, and they had pretty good spots. Now, they were waiting for them, but they weren't able to pull it off like Pink were able to do them on T side when they were on CT in that Toxic spot, if you remember. Now, 10 to 15 is a score. Pink are starting to win rounds in a row. Focus North are at one of those points where they do want to win this round. I mean, they could lose it and still have about 3 more chances, but ultimately, if they don't close it out soon, then the momentum starts to go in Pink's favor. And if Pink are actually learning how to exploit Focus North's defenses, then they could be able to use that as a sustainable model. They have been able to win around at upper, they've been able to win around at lower, and so that means that they probably are feeling a little bit more confident about where they can go.
But that was a big mistake there as Dewey gets taken out by Covey outside with the bomb. So it has now dropped someone in no man's land just outside of the mini area. They'll be forced to engage Will the Terrace as 2 of them go down trying to come out of hut. We've seen Acid Tongue and Paduyan smoke out Mini, trying to get a chance to pick up that bomb, but it is in, again, a precarious position. Paduyan does get it picked up. He is now behind the smoke. They're going to retreat back towards the safety of T-Red. So this round not looking so hot for Pink. After a solid few round wins in a row as Paduyan picks up a long-distance frag onto Covey. Trying to even things up, but they are still down. 4 against 2. Acid Tongue's somewhat wounded as Paduyan's playing point man with the bomb on his back with that op. They're going to move down to lower where they've had some success. It's looking like he's trying to drop it for his teammate to get the plant off, but LeBroy James in perfect position with that AUG at the bottom of ramp to pick up the 2 easy frags. It'll be a 16-10 victory for Focus North.